rockers from all around the world, welcome to Musical People and Journeys. And joining me on my wonderful journey today is the amazing Simon, is the amazing Chris, and the amazing Trish. Welcome, gang.
Morning.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
So, part of our journey is that we've moved to Discord. How about that? And while we're bedding and testing down, you'll be able to join us on our Discord channel and kind of leave comments once we've kind of got it all kind of sorted out, you wonderful rockers out there. But in the meantime, let's see how this goes. If you're new to the show, we review all the latest rock albums on our Musical People and Journeys trek. And the next 6 albums will make it 416 albums that we've reviewed, which is amazing. And it'll be about 110 albums this year so far. So we're going to rate them out of the albums that we review out of 5. If they get 4 or more, they get into our Hall of Fame, maybe even our Album of the Year show. Let's find out, because we've got a cracking 6 albums, and we're kicking off. Not all 6 on this show, by the way, so don't put a gun to your head just yet. Category 7 is up to today, and their album, bizarrely happened. Category 7. So who are they? Well, this is interesting. Category 7, American heavy metal supergroup, formed in 2023. So they're a brand new band. This lineup features Armored Saint and former Anthrax frontman John Bush, Kerry King sideman and former Machine Head guitarist Phil Demmel, Adrenaline Mob guitarist Mike Orlando, Exodus bassist Jack Gibson, and Overkill and Shadows Fall drummer Jason Bittner. Category 7 was put together in early 23 as a result of the members hanging out and tearing it up, with Bush and Demmel having collaborated early in Metal Allegiance. The project was named after the numerical destination of the most powerful windstorm that came together from a batch of musicians who strived to play music they loved and weren't hearing elsewhere, and wanted to do so with bandmates they enjoyed being with. It's a bit like us, you know? A bit like our gang. Or is it? Simon, let's start with you then. Category 7. What do you think?
Yeah, probably not the strongest person to open with. So I'm not. I'm not the biggest fan of like this sort of like American thrash metal. So straight off, this really isn't my cup of tea. There was a lot of guitar thrashing and interesting vocals, but throughout the album, I feel like the bass and the drums felt quite weak. I don't know if it's the mixing or not, but it just felt, I don't know, it felt very guitar heavy, which is usually quite cool, but it really felt to lack that sort of oomph behind it. And the guitars just doesn't cover that difference enough. I did enjoy some of the tracks, like especially the outro track, Etta Stormen. I thought that was a really, really good track. But songs like Runaway Truck and Through Pink Eyes like just didn't really do much for me, especially like lyrically. Overall, I don't think it's a bad album, but it's just not for me. It's not my cup of tea.
Not your cup of tea, love. Well, the next guy is always our cup of tea, because it's Chris Cully. We're always happy to have a bit of Chris Cully as a nice sugary kind of flavour. Two sugars.
Interesting.
Well, you know.
Just the one for me, thank you. But yeah, so I quite like this actually. When I was listening to it, I thought, I'm sure I've heard this singer before. I'm sure I've heard this guitar before. And at that point, I hadn't realised it was a super group from people that I have listened to in the past. So I've dipped into Anthrax in the past. Machine Head was part of my effectively life growing up through uni. And so I've listened to a lot of these artists in their respective groups before. And so it's unsurprising that it feels a bit familiar. So when I said as part of the intro, they're doing stuff that they haven't heard or they're not hearing at the minute, it's like, well, I have heard it before, but it was some time ago while they were doing their own stuff, and now they're kind of effectively trying to bring it back. And I can kind of see what they're going for with it. I do completely agree with Simon, though. It feels like they dialed down the bass. The bass guitar for most of the album, it almost feels like they haven't got one, because they kind of lose the bass in the and I think it is just the balancing and the mixing. They drop the bass down to focus a bit more on the guitar and the vocals. The downside to them being, it's kind of sat there for most of it going, is there a bassist on this album? And then in Etta Stormen, which I think is mostly an instrumental track, so I was surprised that it got a mention at all from Simon, because I'm not sure usually that much of the instrumental track guy. Yeah, it comes back up for that. So they've done the balancing properly, because I think they're trying to showcase everyone as they go through. It doesn't feel like it's a, oh look, let's talk to this guy, oh let's listen to this guy, but it just feels like they're trying to showcase it, and it works really well. It's just a shame that bassist wasn't there all the way through, and the mixing was a bit odd for most of it. But I still really enjoyed the album. I like stuff like Runaway Truck and Mousetrap. It's just kind of bringing stuff back, some of the stuff that I used to like when I was a bit younger. I thought I'd not necessarily matured out of it, but I've moved away from it, and now, yeah, it was just a bit of nostalgia for me as well. So I think it was really good. But yeah, just a bit of a shame with the mixing a little bit, which, you know, if that's what they were aiming for, great, good for them. Yeah, I felt like it was lacking a little bit in that department at that point.
Somebody who's definitely not lacking. Definitely. Never lacks to have a lovely word or so. Trish White, what did you think of Category 7?
Well, firstly, can you hear me? After me yesterday sounding like a Dalek.
Yeah, we can hear you. There's a slight delay on you, but it's fine.
Okay. I'd not heard of them, so I researched and found out that they are a supergroup, as you mentioned, Nigel, made up of former members of Anthrax, Machine Head, Exodus, to name but a few. And knowing this, I knew it was going to be more thrash metal vibe music, which in most cases is not my bag. The album starts off with whirlwind guitars and ferocious drumming, and that's how the album pretty much remains throughout. I couldn't tell you what they were singing about, as the vocals got overshadowed for me. If you love thrash metal, this is gritty, and fans will take from this album what they want. Just for me, not my musical listening ears.
Yeah.
Over to you now.
No, I kind of agree with. Do you know, I couldn't put my finger on it, because I do kind of like. Do you know when you like something, but you only like it in small doses, or you can only take so much of it? And I like Metallica, but I couldn't like listen to Metallica's album like 3 times in a row or something. And I found this is similar to kind of that. They're not Metallica. They were a bit more varied in their thrash metal and their speed guitar. And I suppose, and I think I've been kind of trying to put my finger on why I really enjoyed this, but I didn't love it. And that sums up because there was no really hero songs in there for me as well. And I think you're right, Chris. I think maybe that's missing for me. I do like that heavier kind of deeper kind with that bass guitar kind of more heavier melodic kind of music, and so it wasn't kind of like, but I did enjoy it, and it wasn't an album that I immediately went, I'm not going to listen to that again. And I've only listened to it twice, because I always listen to an album twice unless it bleeds my ears and I can't actually bear it. But I think I must have listened to it about 3 or 4 times. But I mixed it in. Whereas with some albums I listened back to back. I couldn't do a back to back listen of it. But I thought it was really solid. And I say I enjoyed it without loving it. So why? Well, let's find out. Will it reach the hallowed Hall of Fame? Will it get there as well? So 5 votes. William, who is not able to join us today, has also voted. So we do have the 5, the hollowed 5 votes. Let's find out then. Simon.
Oh, big old 2.
2. Oh, harsh, but understandable. Cully.
It was a 4 from Chris.
4 from Chris. Trish.
I gave it a 3.
Yeah, that's pretty solid. I was halfway between you and Chris. I give it a 3.5. Will kind of enjoyed it slightly more than Simon and give it a 2.5 on that score. So it scored an average of 3. Which basically puts it. We've reviewed 416 albums now, so 273rd. So, which for a 3 is like, it's still pretty good, and 79th out of 106. So it won't be reaching our Hall of Fame or our album of the year list, but enjoyable, solid effort from Category 7. Right, well, thank you very much. Our first show on Discord, and it went okay, did it, gang? Did it? Anyway, in the meantime, keep on rocking. Do you agree, my lovely people, my lovely fans, our lovely fans, we can call call you that. What did you think? Do you agree, disagree? Please leave your comments below. And please, hey, if you feel like it, give us a like and subscribe. It all really helps us. Thank you very much. Thanks to my panel, to Trish, to Simon, and to Chris. Goodbye for now, everybody. Keep on rocking.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.